Well, good morning. I'm Steve, the Cornish van dweller, recording this here on the Isle of Wight, just in Ventnor. And I just wanted to answer a question really that was going through my mind and somebody else kind of posed as well, which is, am I forced to live in a car, or do I do it through choice? So I live in a tiny Citroen C1, which is probably one of the smallest cars you can buy on the market. Thank you for coffee. And I've been living in it for 2 years now. Well, we're just in the third year. It's early January 2025. Nice takeaway coffee from Lady Scarlett's down in Ventnor Bay. So I've lived in a vehicle, so initially a Citroen Berlingo for 6 years. I moved into that in Cornwall, hence a Cornish van dweller name, and then for 2 years in the Citroen C1, so 8 years basically I'm living in a vehicle. And am I forced to live in a vehicle? Given a choice, would I still be living in a tiny little Citroen C1? First question then, do I actually have a choice? Do I live in this tiny car out of my own sort of choice to do so? In a sense, not really. I don't really have a choice. Earlier in life, well, so I'm middle-aged now, just entering my second half of life. In the first half of life, I lived a very conventional lifestyle, living in a house, in various houses. I never actually purchased a property or anything like that. I was always renting or living in my parents' house when I was on the Isle of Wight. And I was earning pretty decent money as I gradually worked my way up through the system. Certainly enough to pay rent and to potentially get a mortgage and get a house, which I chose not to do. What was I doing with all of that money? I was donating it to wildlife conservation charities, so especially those that help people internationally in the tropical Andes to buy land to set up nature reserves. So basically most of my disposable income was donated. In those days, for the first, my 20s, 30s and 40s, I was pretty obsessed about wildlife conservation, and I was on a bit of a mission. And so yeah, that's where the money went. But I consider myself to have had a pretty successful career in conservation. Let's just have a look at the view, shall we? And I have zero regrets in terms of donating that money to those organisations, because now I can visit Ecuador and Colombia and see the nature reserves that have been purchased with money, with my donations as well as other people's donations. Look at that, what a cracking view. I'm trying to get the camera to get the right level. So yeah, that's what I did on the first half of my life. And so now, because I didn't purchase property during those biggest earning years, I don't own a property, and in a sense I don't have much of a choice. I do live in a vehicle, and it would be next to impossible for me to buy a property now. We'll come back to that in a minute. But if I had the choice, if I was in my 20s and I was earning enough money, would I get a mortgage? Would I lead a more conventional lifestyle? The answer is no, absolutely not. So if I had the choice, given a choice, what I would do, had I known about van life back in those days, which I didn't, but had I known about van life, and if I'd had a decent income and had a choice, either live in a house or live in a vehicle, I would 100% have been living in a vehicle. Not a tiny little Citroen C1 though. I would live in a short wheelbase, high roof, Renault Traffic or something like that, and I'd have a beautiful van build inside it, lots of room for me because I'm a minimalist, so I don't need much room. That's what I would be doing. But now, entering the second half of my life, so beyond middle age, I'm currently working, and I could afford to rent a room in a house somewhere. I can't afford to buy somewhere now, a house that is. So in a sense I am kind of backed into a bit of a corner in terms of my choices for accommodation. But even now, if I had a choice, well, I do have a choice because I earn enough money to pay rent. Well, I don't really, but I would still be living in a vehicle, and I fully intend to live in a vehicle for the foreseeable future. But what I'm doing currently is building up multiple streams of income. So, YouTube channel, writing books, channel sponsorship, affiliate marketing, that kind of stuff. And I'm saving. So, firstly, I'm saving for a van, so I don't have to live in the car for too much longer. But also, I'm going to buy land, a small plot, a hectare maybe, which, you know, £30,000-40,000 it probably end up costing. In the UK, probably on the Isle of Wight. And then I'm also going to buy a plot of land within or next to one of the nature reserves I supported for the first half of my life in the tropical Andes in either Ecuador or Colombia. And that way, during the winter, I can escape the cold temperate zone of northwestern Europe, go down into the tropics, slightly higher elevation, so it's still quite a cool climate, you know, 20, 21, 22 degrees centigrade. Go onto my land, have a little writing lodge on there, and basically help raise money for that nature reserve whilst I'm writing books in winter in the tropics. It'll either be in the tropical Andes or Southeast Asia, where I also love to go. Thailand, Cambodia. You can't buy land there because you can only gain concessions. But anyway, given the choice, and I'll come on to my plans. But I do have a choice, and my choice has become increasingly flexible going forward as I build up my side hustles. But I'll be living in a vehicle in the UK on a little plot of land which I can come and go from, and then I'll have that little plot somewhere in the tropical Andes. And that is excuse me. And that is the choice I've made. So I think I kind of have chosen to live in a vehicle. Although I don't have much of a choice now, but I love the choice I have, which is to be a digital nomad, going from places like this beautiful area, Ventnor on the Isle of Wight, which my parents have always lived here. My mum's currently living in, my dad passed away, and my mum's currently living in Wootton, so she's moved out of Ventnor, but this is my hometown and I love it. I can just come and go as I please. Right. Hope you enjoyed that little video. Do subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. We're not finished yet because I'm now going to add on to the second half of this video a nice long walk I did at Black Gang Chai. So stay tuned, or stay watching this video for that bit, which I'll add on now. Good morning. Oh, excuse me, getting dressed in front of the camera. It's not very good, is it? Oh, it is a blooming chilly morning. But then again, it is, was it the 5th of January? Oh, my back. Let's put a shirt on. We're going to go for a walk in a second. I hope the question I just answered was answered well for you. I hope you're well as well. Let's just put my socks on. This is a pretty typical morning routine for me, living in a car like this, tiny little Citroen C1. Sorry about this, I'm just putting my socks on. God, it's not easy when you've got a dodgy back. I just kind of have to push through it. There we go. Trousers. I do apologise for getting dressed on camera, but I kind of just put it on and then realised I wasn't fully dressed yet. Honest. Actually, I'm just trying to illustrate my morning routine to you. Cough is almost gone now, people, so thank you for all your concern. It's just the horrible cold. Doing this would be much easier if my back wasn't giving me grief. There we go. There we go, people. I'm decent now, so you can look. Right. Roll that That's my sleeping bag I'm rolling behind my back now against the side of the car at the back, so I can use it as a cushion for my back whilst I move on to task 2, which is right, settle down now. Right, back, are you a bit better now? I'm still reasonably. Right, the car is running, as you can tell, and the radiator seems to be having no effect at all. So wet wipes, that's how I keep, I wouldn't say I keep clean using wet wipes, but I certainly keep refreshed and do my armpits every morning with those. Anyway, I've got to turn the radiator up one little crank, that's why I have the engine running. So it's going to be a bit noisy because the camera's right next to the radiator outlet. Got to put a second layer on. So I put one thermal t-shirt on, long sleeved shirt, and they're going to put a second one on over it, because then I'll be super toasty when we go for a walk in a second. Honestly, we will get round to going for a walk in a second, I promise. So as some of you will know, there's a room that I've got for the next couple of weeks down in Ventnor Bay, and to be honest, the main use I'm putting that room to, and it literally is only a couple of weeks, is getting loads of stuff out of my car and sticking it in there, so I can then properly build the bed frame for the bed, funnily enough, because I've got a new mattress coming. It's just a roll-up camping mattress, but the one I got here, it's the same design, don't think it's the same brand, it's a more up-to-date version. I got this one that I'm on now when I got the Berlingo 8 years ago. So I was in the Berlingo for 6 years with this camping mattress. I've been in this car for two years and 5 days, the same camping mattress, and I've ordered a new one finally, which I will be installing over the next couple of days when it arrives from Amazon. But before that, I really want to get the bed frame done so that it's all a bit more, or a bit less bodged, to be honest. I'm making a cup of coffee, by the way. One of the great joys of living in a car is making coffee in the morning. Right, what I normally do, so I use a jet boil. Don't, whatever you do, use one of these in a vehicle. I thought it was a good idea at the time. So I let a little bit of gas out, so any vapours that are built up, any moisture over the heat ring thing at the top. Turn it on, there you go. Then that, if you let out a little bit of gas initially and blow it off a bit, you avoid getting that pop of, it's almost an explosive pop when you first turn it on, if it's a cold night and it's a bit moist. So just boiling the water. I don't recommend a jet boil like this just because it's so tall. And it could easily tip over, and it has tipped over on me once after it had boiled and went all over my stomach, so I've now got scars on my stomach. I don't think you saw those when I was getting dressed. It's a bit stupid, isn't it? Anyway, making a nice cup of coffee before we go on a nice walk. A Zero decaf. Don't know why I went to decaf, but it's certainly, I felt the benefits of it in terms of being more energetic. Placebo probably, but gets my vote if it has an effect on me, positive effect. Put a little tiny bit of sugar in after this is boiled. Now I need to keep a close eye on this because it will start bubbling because it's got oat milk in there rather than just water. It bubbles a bit more aggressively and kind of climbs up the cup of the jet boil and can boil over. Then I get scalding water or boiling water all over the place and can scald myself if I'm not careful, which my tummy knows very well because I wasn't being careful. Yeah, hardy hardy ha. Do subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. But almost more useful, well definitely more useful, is to watch more of my videos. Watch this one to the end, then go and watch some other ones, because watch hours is what really makes this channel work as a worthwhile endeavour sort of thing. I mean, it's worthwhile because I enjoy doing the videos and I enjoy talking to you guys in the comment section, which I've not been doing very well, so I do apologise for that. You know, it's Christmas and New Year. But I will say, I've had quite a few views recently on my channel. I've gained about 2,000 subscribers since the New Year. Well, it's the 4th of January now, 5th of January I think. That's not bad, is it? For a channel that was kind of stuck at around 2,800 for months on end. Just these last 5 days since I changed the format of my videos and started to use thumbnails again. People have started discovering my channel, which is really good. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And there is a buymeacoffee.com link so that I can, you know, it's almost empty, people. I'm only kidding. But there is a buymeacoffee.com link in the description below this video if you wish to support the channel, and a PayPal link as well. Thank you everybody who is supporting me via that route, those routes. It's really appreciated. It's really helping me stay motivated, and well, I am motivated to do these videos. One early morning oat latte. Right, I'm going to turn you off whilst I scramble into the driver's seat. Just close my sugar thingy. I'll just show you my setup behind here before I do that. Hold on. Get the camera off without turning it off. Bear with me for a second. Just easing it off its mount. There we go. Right. So there you can see. Let's turn the camera around. Do this properly. Right, there you can see the jet boil. Got this plastic tub thing in here with loads of junk in it that I need to clear out. There's my pantry basically with my coffee, oat milk, sugar and stuff. There's a sack of oat milk, dried powdered oat milk there, which I'm going to be using more often. I use that especially in the summer when these liquid oat milks go off quite quickly. This stuff obviously doesn't, which is really good. Anyway, stick you back over here. Actually, let's turn you off for a second. So it's just getting light now. I wasn't sure if there'd been a frost because I was really warm in the bed overnight. I'm still not 100% sure, but it looks like there may have been. There's no ice or anything on the windows of the car, so it doesn't look like the car is particularly frosted, but outside it might well be on the ground. Let's turn these lights off at the back. Put my coffee in the little coffee holder at the front, watching my back, and then scramble gingerly into the passenger seat. I promise we will go for a walk in a second. I'm going to turn you off whilst I do this. That's better. Right. Turn the radiator down a little bit because it's warm now. It's one of the great advantages of living in a very small car is that you can heat it up really well, and you can stay toasty warm at night as well if you've got a decent sleeping bag. because it's such a small space in this little Citroen C1 that it just doesn't get that cold inside, or your body heat seems to warm it up a bit. Although obviously I've got the radiator on now, but overnight when I didn't have any radiator or anything on, I was so warm in that sleeping bag. So last night I did actually sleep in the room. I've done it twice now this year, so 2 nights I've slept in this room where I'm storing my stuff. And to be honest, I wanted to get back into the car. I just didn't find it all that enticing being in a room. It is a lovely room. I mean, well, it's not. It's a lovely, comfortable, warm room. Got my stuff in there now from the car. What I'm going to do is move as much out into the room as possible. Massively reduce the volume of stuff, so that when I bring it back in, the car will be a lot more open, a lot more airy, so that air can circulate, and that prevents any mould or moisture build-up, which is a real problem in a small space like this. I said I was going to look outside, didn't I? Yeah, there has been a frost. Let me show you. Hold on. I didn't think it was as cold as the weather forecast said it might be last night. Let me turn you around. So there's definitely been a frost. You can see on the gravel and a bit on the grass. But I'm used to it being a lot colder than that outside. What a cracking morning though. Right, I'm going to drink a bit more of my coffee, then we're going to go for a walk. There we go. How do I look? All kitted out. Microphone, camera, beanie or whatever that is. And then, when I do go out, I'll put my hood up like this. There we go. The hood is over the camera, as you can see. Well, it's not over the camera, it's above the camera. That's our point. So, there we go. Does look a bit chilly, people. Am I completely crazy? We'll find out in a second. This is always half the battle in the morning, is getting the binoculars over my neck, over my hood and my camera system. Okay, so I'm not going to bother putting my waterproof shoes on, simply because it's all frozen out there, so there's going to be no moisture, is there? It's just going to be crunchy. My feet are going to get very, very, very cold, because the waterproof shoes are also warmer. But yeah, we can delay this no more, can we? We need to go out for a walk. Feel free to stay in the car if you want. I know it's a bit cold out there, but I think most of you are going to want to come along. There's limited space in here. Let's go. Oh my god, it's cold. Oh. Yeah, there's ice on the roof. Yeah, lots of ice. Oh yes, ouch, that's painful actually, scraping that off. Nothing on the windscreen, but I have had the engine running for half an hour. Oh, what a cracking morning. As I seem to say most mornings when I do a walk. There's somebody over there with a cover over their car, so they have clearly crashed in their car overnight. I wonder if it's got a proper van build in there. What is it? Don't know what brand. It's not VW, is it? I think it's a Astra. Is that a brand? Is that a car brand? Got their engine running. Join the tribe. Oh, there's a buzzard there. Join the tribe of car dwellers. One robin. Well, at least the wind isn't too strong, so I'm not going to get the old wind chill. If the wind was too strong, I wouldn't be walking very far at all. I'm not going to walk very far at all anyway. But go a little way at least. Very quiet. We are very much in the grips of winter now. It's been a very mild end to 2025. And then this high pressure built over northwest Europe basically and out off to the west. And during this cold, still air for a while, it's broken up now, that high. And now we've got southwesterly weather systems gradually working their way in our direction. So over the next few days the weather will change back to slightly milder, wetter southwesterlies. Currently it's a northerly. Oh, lovely and crunchy. I was right about the grass being effectively dry because it's covered in frost. Look at that. There's the moon, the needles, there's a raven. You may be able to see the raven. And another one. Saying, what are you doing up here this early in the morning? The Gore Cliff. It's one of the things I love about living in a vehicle is you can just choose where to park overnight. Meaning you can vary your morning walks if you do what I do, which is have a morning walk every morning. So with the room in the house that I'm crashing in, or crashed in for 2 nights so far, you basically get up and you're in the same place. And the walks, although nice around that bit of Ventnor Bay, they're not that varied. And I'm there all day anyway, so I actually prefer not to be in a fixed location every night, so that when I wake up in the morning there's a different walk and a different view. It's got to be a view of the sea. That's compulsory. If I can't see the sea, I'm not happy. Luckily, my room overlooks the sea in that house. I will do a little room tour soon. But like I say, it's only for a couple of weeks. It's only whilst I clear out the car, sort out the car. This is rather lovely, isn't it? Got to watch the time because I need to drive to Sandford Garage and fill up Flea with fuel. She's feeling a bit thirsty, not dehydrated yet, but certainly thirsty. Flea is my car, obviously. I am a bit mad. Well, I live in a car called Flea, so obviously I'm a bit mad. But I'm talking about her as if she's a being, which she is, of course. She's basically a big metallic tent. Only a one-person tent because I've taken the passenger seat out to put the bed in, but it only gives a very narrow single bed type setup in there. You could just about squeeze a very close friend in there. Any ladies out there want to give that a try, let me know. Yeah, it's basically a metal tent with bling, the bling being an engine and 4 wheels. Name me any other tent that you can do that with, eh? Drive around. It's amazing. And it's basically luxurious compared to conventional camping, where you've got a tent which falls down overnight. Obviously, you can't really boil water in your tent with gas because you'll kill yourself. Although I've not managed to kill myself in the car yet. And the same principle ought to apply, but of course you've got ventilation in the car. if you open the window. I'm jabbering on here, aren't I? Can't remember why I got to talking about my blinged up tent, which is a car. There's the undercliff, there's Black Gang Chine down there, forgot to mention that, I'm sure you know. So don't forget, people, the new format for this channel is I answer your questions for the first part of the video, and then I do these walks for the second part of the video. But I do need your questions, so pose questions. And then I can do my little 5-minute video clip at the beginning, or to put at the beginning, before we have this longer walk section. It seems to be working as a format. Tell me in the comments section if you agree. If you stayed watching the video for this long, because obviously we're the second part of the video now with the walk. Hopefully I remember to put the question answering session at the beginning. It's quite funny really, because the walks tend to be first thing in the morning, whereas the answering the question tends to be recorded during the day. So it kind of it's all a bit skew with. But I answer the question at the beginning just because that's when most people watch the video. They tend to gradually fizzle out as the video goes on and on and on and on, and as I drone on my walks like I'm doing now. So yeah, I put the old question and answer bit at the beginning, so most people are still watching the video at that stage. And then the walks, for the diehards that want to see me walking around the Isle of Wight or Cornwall or Devon, wherever I happen to be, usually the Isle of Wight. Although next week I've got a little bit of a road trip. I'm going to be going into Somerset and Dorsetshire for a couple of days, so we'll have some videos from out that way, further west. That's not until, well, Somerset is the 15th of January. Was it now the 4th, 5th? Let me check. I think it's the 4th. That is a chilly breeze. You can probably hear it on the microphone. It's the 5th of January. Just go as far as this wall and do my loop around. Go back to Flea the car, and then we can take her to the garage. I've just realised that Flea obviously has two meanings. Flea, in terms of the meaning I intend, is one of those little bouncy bug things that bite you. Because flea is basically a little tiny black thing, and fleas are as well. But there's another meaning, which is flee, as in run away. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'm fleeing from the expectations of society, which I don't subscribe to, as you probably noticed. Gorcliff with the jackdaws, but no chuffs. There will be chuffs back soon, I promise. Yeah, so that's quite interesting, a double meaning. I'm sure everybody else who's ever watched this channel got the double meaning. Nobody told me about it in the comments section though. Right, we're going up into the breezy bit now. I'm going to be walking into the wind, so I apologise for the noise on the microphone if there is much of it. Yeah, I can confirm that is a cold wind. My eyes are watering now. Cold but lovely. Gonna have to park up on Ventnor Downs overnight again soon. I want to watch out there because the road can get slippy, and coming back down again can be a bit dodgy. Oh, that's cold. I think my eyebrows are freezing now. Eyelashes, whatever they are. Both, probably, because my eyes are watering. What a wimp, eh? I'm on the very most southerly part of the Isle of Wight. Right down south. All those car dwellers who live in well, further north, are experiencing much colder conditions than I am. Although it's not warm here. It's going to be a cracking sunny day though in Ventnor Bay. It's one of the great things about the undercliff of the Isle of Wight is the cliff face on the inward side is on the north side, so any northerly winds you don't feel it in the undercliff. You're sheltered from it, so all the lizards come out, we come out and sit at the front of cafes outside, basking in January sunshine. I'm not boasting or anything, or I'm not showing off, but you know, it's amazing. And give it another decade, it'll be too hot to sit outside apparently, if the sciencey people are to be believed, with global warming, all that malarkey. I don't know what the temperature trends are in the undercliff. There is a signboard interpretation panel at the Botanic Gardens suggesting, I think, that it's risen 5 degrees, the average temperature in the Botanic Gardens. I'm not sure I believe that, but over what period of time, I don't know, probably over the last 30 years or something. Don't know, but I mean, it's definitely very warm down there, but whether they've properly analysed their data, they've got a little meteorological station, so they've got the data, but it's only one data point, presumably, so I don't think you can really say that. I'll have to do a walk to the Botanic Gardens and around it soon. Right, I'm going to cut this walk a little bit short by going down here, because it is getting flipping cold. You can see the Needles, and I can see St Albans Head and Portland just about off to the west. Don't know if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, I'll do a walk around the Botanic Gardens, that'll be nice. Put that on my list. Gonna sneeze, I apologise. Sorry about that. You did get a warning. Everything's running now. What is the time now? I usually get back to Ventnor Bay for about 8:30. It is 7:57. Okay, so I do need to get to the garage pronto. Now it's going to be a bit of an assault course, getting around Island Road's road closures. There is a road closure somewhere on the route, but I don't know where it is. So navigating that will be fun, as long as I make it to the garage. There's a little robin in front of us. Little robin. No overnight parking. Oops. Oh, is that a flock of birds? Starlings, I think. How do you flee? How are you? You didn't flee. You stayed put. There we go. Oh. Well, that was lovely. I enjoyed that. Don't normally enjoy winter, but that was a nice walk. Turn the old microphone off to rely on the Osmo Pocket 3 microphone now, which does the job. Let's sort myself out. What do I need to plug in? What do I need to charge whilst I'm driving? The phone would be a good idea, I think. Probably this camera as well, yeah, the Osmo Pocket 3, which I'm recording on now, needs a charge. Let's turn the engine on, get some warmth. What I might do, I've got a scone here, scone, whatever you call them. I'm going to leave the engine running, quickly run over and give one of these to that robin, smash it up, and I can open the blooming bag with my frozen hands. Now, they don't design them to be open, but better. Right, so I'm going to go and stamp on this on the path for the robin. Job done. I broke into two sections because there are two robin territories along that path. So they each got a chunk of well, broken up scone. And I've got a second one. These are stale, by the way. They were cheap in a co-op. Got a second one which I'm going to put out here for the magpies because they're hungry as well. Awesome. Here we go, buddies. I can't see any magpies, but they always come along to see if anyone's going to give them something. I've got nothing else for them. Right, we better get to the garage. Let's take the thingy, the stove off of the windowsill or the dashboard shelf. There we go. Wipe off the windscreen, get rid of the moisture on the inside. I can turn the camera around, kind of see through it, I guess. Don't think it will focus outside at the moment. Let me just ramp up the radiator. Does that focus outside? Not really. If you have any moisture inside on the windscreen, it will focus on the windscreen rather than outside. Right, does that focus outside? It's going to vary, but I've decided not to take Flea to the garage this morning just because it's quite icy. Yeah, I don't really want to be slipping around backwards and forwards on the road, so we're just going to drive into the Undercliff then, back to Ventnor I think, and take Flea to the garage later in the day. We'll have to go today at some point. Oh. it wasn't that cold overnight. There's barely any frost. Away from Blackgang where I was, it's barely any frost at all. Bit icy just here. A bit frosty down here, a bit icy on the road. Definitely a frost pocket here. Don't want to go too slow because there's somebody behind me. I'm not one for driving fast at the best of times. Yeah, deep frost here. So it's where it's more open, there was more wind, that's where there was less frost. The frost doesn't form where it's too windy. Down here where it's more sheltered, you've got a thicker frost and more ice on the road. You can tell I live on the Isle of Wight, where we don't get much of this kind of frosted roads and ice and that sort of stuff. So I'm driving way more cautiously than anybody else would. On the mainland, you're all laughing at me. Model Y, a new one with the light bar. You can tell the roads have been gritted. So last night I remember hearing, I thought it was rain on the car. I think we might have had a tiny little bit of snow. Pretty sure some of this is snow rather than a very deep frost. Yeah, see, that's settled a bit. Yeah, proper snow here. Oh, look at that van sliding. So I'm now going to drive cautiously because he was sliding there. interesting. So I'm getting onto the main road now, or what for this part of the world is a main road, so it shouldn't be too bad. Although having said that, snow is a little tiny bit deeper here. Yeah, the wheels span there on the... How exciting. Definitely glad I didn't try and drive to the garage. I'll go there later once the sun has got onto the road here. Right, let's get on the right side of the road. Driving very gingerly here. I don't want to lose the back end of the car. Somebody's coming up behind me who's driving much faster. Somebody's slid there. See on the road surface, somebody lost it there. Hopefully this corner will be okay. Looks like somebody lost it there as well. Right, I'm going to carry on. I was going to go up there, but nope. Let's drive along this way. Stick to the better used road, I think. Oh dear, somebody's gone off the road on the corner here. So I'm going to slow down. Try not to do the same thing on the bend. Should be okay now. Although I know this bend here sometimes gets icy. In a minute we're going to drop down into the undercliff, and all of this frosty nonsense should disappear. I hope. Oh dear, I was a bit. So I took that a little bit too fast for my liking. Alright, so when we turn right here, hopefully we'll be out of it. Yeah, we're largely at, well, no we're not. Who am I kidding? Actually, yes we are. The road is pretty clear now. Although, maybe not. Yeah, it's fine. Look at that. Drive at a sensible speed now. Oh dear. I'm going to go round here, avoid that very frosted bit of road. Don't often see the roads like that down here. I think I basically chose the warmest part to sleep up in the exposed area at Blackgang, simply because it was windy up there, or breezy, so the air was just constantly being pushed away around. Down here it's sheltered and still, so a lot colder. Obviously the wind chill up there, but I wasn't feeling that. I was in the car. Look at this. This is lovely. What I might do is drive a little way along. Just for fun, see if I can crash the car on a bit of black ice. Actually, it really is frosty and icy here. Maybe this wasn't a good move. Oh well. What are you doing? Flea says. Why are we going down here? Doing it because we can. Probably turn around just up here. this is a lovely drive, isn't it? It's already turned into slush, the ice on the road. Glad I didn't park down here, which was my original intention, but I'm going to park down here now and have a very quick walk, but it'll only be about 5 minutes. Right, literally a minute or two walk along here, take my phone. Yeah, it's not slush, it is ice. So I'll have to drive back very cautiously to Ventnor. Take my hood down actually, because now we're out of the wind it is definitely not that cold. Well, I don't feel cold. Ah, there's a woodpecker pecking away. There's a gold crest. right up in the top of a sycamore. Great spotted woodpecker. Right, I need to get back to the bay, but that was a nice little interlude, or whatever the word is, probably not interlude. An interjection of great spotted woodpecker. Hammering away. I assume it's doing that because the air is still and it's frosty, so the sound will travel a long way. Marking out his territory. I can hear long-tailed tits. Little tit flock up here, I think. Cold tit calling. Little fire crest down, low down. Right, let's get back to Ventnor Bay, where at 9 o'clock I'll be able to get a nice cup of tea. Right, let's get back to Ventnor without crashing. I forgot to plug the camera in. Plug you in to charge you up. There we go. Just plug my phone back in. Whatever that is. Too many pockets. Go on, start charging. Got an iPhone Mini 13 and very reluctant to charge up these days. Slippery, 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 slippery. That was fun. Almost lost the back end. Let us drive very slowly here because the road is all over the blooming place. Ooh, yep, slipped a little bit there. Doing well, Flea. Luckily the turning circle here seems frost free, or ice free, whatever it is. That's good. Fortuitous. Right, off to Ventnor we go. This little bit here could be a bit slippery on the steep slope of the road. That was fine. No problem at all. This corner slowly because it's clearly a open frost hollow just here. Big tanker in front of us. Yeah, that was right. Best place to walk your dog, on that side of the road, on that bend. Yeah, it's melting really fast along here. This was slushy when I came through earlier. 10 minutes, 20 minutes ago. Now it's all free, it's all clear. No problem at all. Lovely jubbly. necessarily be trying to drive up there, but he is. Well out of the frosty zone now. As we're a bit late, I don't know whether Flea's parking space will be free, but we are driving to the garage later, so it doesn't really matter. A bit frosty here on the Cascade, just a little bit. That will soon disappear. Done. Rarely fail to get this spot. Marvellous. So I hope you're enjoying this video about Ventnor and the Undercliff. If so, then don't forget there are 2 books that I've written. One, Birdwatching Around Ventnor, creatively named, and the second one is Wildlife Watching Around Ventnor. Just short books about the local area that are the subject of this video, available on Amazon. I'll put a link below this video, and you can also order it from the library, and it's available in all major bookshops, both of these little booklets.